Hey, this video is basically about silencers. It's a tutorial on how to use silencers, and before we go into about the tutorial, I'm gonna give you a little rundown on my initial ideology of silencers and then my enlightenment towards them. I was introduced into the Call of Duty gaming franchise in 2008 by a friend. He had World at War, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta play like this game." And I've always thought that World War II was a really cool war. You know, everything about it. You know, the guns, the tactics before everything got so advanced. How how it just trial and error it was. It was just a really cool thing, and so that's what got me into it, was the World War II aspect to it. And I honestly hadn't even have a copy until 2009, and so that's when I seriously started playing multiplayer, and I started playing games, multiplayer games. And my initial tactic was just to use the most highly powered weapons with stopping power. And my idea was, okay, well, the less bullets it takes to kill my enemy, the better. If I can kill them faster than that, they can kill me, I'm gonna win. And when I was introduced to silencers, and it said well, it silences your weapon, the only drawback is it reduces range, I was like, oh, that's the fucking shit. Because the only thing, though, was I didn't know what range did. As far as I knew, it could have affected accuracy. It could have, affected damage like it does. Or I also had another theory that maybe when you're out of range, that your bullets just don't hit. Like maybe like you have a range of 60 yards, and at 100 yards, your bullet just phases out. It just doesn't work. Or maybe they shoot to the side, or some. But now I know that it affects damage. And so the flaw to using, and so I would silence my high powered weapons, because those were the only weapons I would use, higher damage weapons. The drawback was that the silencer was inhibiting. The only advantage that weapon had was the high power. There were other guns with higher rates of fire, more accuracy, that were just outclassing me when I was silenced, and I really didn't know why. And so that's basically what this tutorial is going to be about. Is I know in the video I'm using a FAL, which is a very high powered weapon, and so in some cases it's okay if it's if it's a weapon like this, which is I think, what is it, like a 2-hit kill, and I think, what was that right there? That was another 2-hit kill. This is a high damage, high accuracy, and it fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, so it fires faster than some automatic weapons in some cases. So it's okay, but most of the time you're gonna want to avoid using silencing a high-powered weapon. You want to use a weapon with good stats, whose strongest stats will not be affected by the silencer. So rate of fire and accuracy, go for those. And if a weapon has a high range, like I know in Modern Warfare 2, all submachine guns, assault rifles, they all have the same range. But in Black Ops, some submachine guns and assault rifles, they have different ranges. Like the Scorpion has terrible range. Use a weapon with better range, so it's less affected. And yeah, so like my favorite submachine gun to silence is the MPL, because it's just perfect. It is a 4-hit kill to when it's not silenced. And so like worst case scenario, you're out of range, it's going to be like a 5 or a 6-hit kill. And it has the fastest rate of fire in the game. add that with rapid fire, it's pretty much unbeatable. It's you can empty I did a test where it's like I started firing a commando, or no, I started firing a Galil before the MPL. Like I started firing like a second before the just just in case, because I originally was gonna fire them at the same time, but I didn't want to like make an error where I did one before the other. So I hit the trigger of the Galil before the MPL, and then I hit the MPL, and the MPL emptied its clip, and the Galil still had about 15 rounds left to fire. So that just gives you an idea of how fast this. And the Galil has 35. The MPL has 32 shots in a clip. And yeah, and I guess what you if you take anything out of this tutorial, if my advice isn't good enough, like if it's not helping you, just see how it affects the weapon's performance. With the MPL, its performance is virtually unaffected. I really can't tell the difference between the MPL silenced and it not being silenced. So whenever I use the MPL, I silence it. I usually use the Warlord perk, silencer, and then use rapid fire, just because it is such a weak gun. It doesn't need that extra, kick of power. But I've beaten people using the AK-74U with rapid fire. So it's a really underrated gun. I suggest if you're gonna silence a submachine gun, the MPL is the one to go. And I think the best example is the FAMAS. Everyone they had to actually make a mod. They had to make a patch for the FAMAS because it was so overpowered. But it's the weakest assault rifle in the game. But it has such a high rate of fire and has high accuracy that it still kills faster in close quarters than other assault rifles. So and assault rifles and submachine guns are a lot alike, except there's the range difference. Oh, right. I was playing a game of Demolition as well, and I killed a guy who was sniping, and I picked up his weapon, and it was a Dragunov silenced with a variable zoom. And I know the Dragunov is just like, everyone thinks it's a shitty weapon. I always thought it was pretty shitty, but because it's a two-hit kill, unless you're like hitting the torso or like the neck or the head. It's a two-hit kill. And so it was I was sniping like the living shit out of the team. It was I think I killed 8 people, like 10 people before I went down, and it was just because I ran out of ammo, so I had to go down with my original weapon and fight. But so yeah, just find weapons use weapons with really low damage to silence, because that